In this episode, I'm installing a sequential dog box in the RX-7. So one of the things which really bugs me about driving this car is the shifter, and I think all RX-7 owners know what I mean. I currently have the Amemiya short shifter installed, and honestly is no better than OEM. So let's go for a drive and I'll show you what I mean. The main problem with this shifter is just how long the throw is, and because it's really just a shortened stock shifter, it does sit a bit lower and you do have to reach a bit further. So to get the shifter off, you have to remove the gear knob. It's a nice little Tomei one. I might give that back to my mate. Next, this plastic panel needs to come off, and it's held in by these metal clips. So what I usually do, I just pull up from the driver's side, just very gently, just like that, in the back as well. It does help if you have something like a trim removal tool. But if you're gentle and you know where the clips are, you can actually remove it all by hand. There we go. Next, you have to remove this rubber dust boot, and it's held in by 4 10mm nuts. This is the best tool you can get from Milwaukee. Honestly, I use this for everything. So if I was reusing this shifter, I'd run a pick underneath the lip on this shifter and pull the rubber boot out. But because I'm going to be fitting a new shifter with a wide base, this needs to be cut anyway. So what I'm going to do is run a knife just around this and just cut the rubber boot. So now the dust boot is off, the shifter is ready to come out. Just make sure it's in neutral and undo these 3 10mm bolts. So just have a rag handy because there is fluid in this shifter turret. So here's a comparison of the G Racing super short shifter and the Amemiya short shifter. And the reason why I say that is because this Amemiya short shifter is actually the same design as the OEM one. They've just shortened the stock shifter to bring the gear knob a bit lower. And this is the G Racing super short shifter. What they've done with this shifter is they've relocated the pivot ball into a shifter housing. And by having this pivot ball sit higher in the shifter, you've got an increased lever arm. And that's how you can reduce the throw and also have such a long shifter. So now we're going to start installing this shifter into the transmission. And it's a really good time to be changing out the shifter turret oil. But this is pretty new and I won't be needing to do that. So the first step is to put this bushing inside the shifter turret. It actually comes with the shifter, but you can also use an OEM bushing if you want to. Just going to lube it up a little bit and then just pop it straight down inside the tunnel. So now the bushing's in there and this has already got some grease on it. I'm going to pop it into the turret and fit the supplied longer bolts in. So I'm not going to fully tighten it yet because I'm not sure if the dust boot's going to fit over this. We might need to modify the dust boot. So here's my dust boot, and just remember I've already cut a little hole in it to remove it before. So what I'm going to do now is just pull the sides of the rubber down over the side of the turret. I think it might actually fit pretty well. So I actually fastened these 4 nuts back down because I think it's actually going to fit pretty well. So what I'm going to do is actually just pull it to the side and see if I can just get it to seal on the edges like this. You know what, I think that's perfect. I'm lucky I didn't cut any more. So I'm going to pop these back on as well. Just going to add a cable tie just to keep everything taut. Now the shift is installed, we've got to put the console back on. And to complete the install, we just pop the gear knob on. Wow, looks really aggressive and very, very tight. And it's raining. Good for the lawn, but guys, this shifter is absolutely amazing. I love it. I think it's going to take some time to get used to, but it has completely transformed the car. You know, this shifter is so precise. It is a bit heavy and a bit notchy, but it is really precise, and it doesn't need much movement. So I will get used to it, and I know this is going to be a good thing for the track, but in terms of street driving, it is a bit of a mission. You really have to drive the car. That's okay for me. So the question is, can you shift faster with this shifter? Absolutely. You can shift as fast as you want with this shifter, but this gearbox with the stock synchros is not going to like it. So if you're going to want to bang gears all the time, make sure you do it in moderation. So that's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed that one, and if you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.